What is good, everyone? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to my village of Nintendo Switch and gaming news, PE Ninjas. Today we've got a quick update for you guys, and once again, I'm sorry about my voice, but as you can clearly hear, it is getting better bit by bit. I've been sick. I actually had the flu pretty bad. You guys heard my voice, but I want to make sure that I mention it because some people are saying, what's wrong with your voice? You know, that subscribe newly. So just letting you guys know, this is not my normal voice. I'm just still recovering from a pretty bad flu. So I'm almost done though. I'm feeling a lot better, guys, and thank you to each and every single one of you guys that were giving me tips and telling me, hey, you should be doing this, and just giving me well wishes. So thank you so much, ninjas. But let's go ahead and get right into the news here. So this is what you should expect from the day one update on the Nintendo Switch. But remember, this update will actually be released just prior, so a lot of the press who have their units, or if you happen to get a unit early, you'll be able to download this update just prior to the release. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the update will provide access to network features, including the Nintendo eShop, online gameplay, the ability to share images via social media. You'll be able to link Nintendo accounts. The update lets you connect online using hotspots that require authentication, such as like a hotel or cafe. A web applet will open up so the user can sign in or accept terms of use. Update will launch just prior to Nintendo Switch's release, like I stated before. The update downloads in the background and is designed to install quickly and doesn't disrupt gameplay. And I want to talk about that after my next story here. In order to buy digital games for Nintendo Switch from the Nintendo website, you'll have to access the eShop one time. If you don't have a Nintendo account when you are asked about it, you can ask the system to send an email with a guidance manual about how to create a Nintendo account. So let's talk about this a little bit. This day one update is definitely different from what Nintendo did with their last system launch, where you had this huge, massive update. I think it was like 5 gigabytes that just added a ton of different things. So Nintendo has clearly learned from their mistake when it comes to that. And like I said, I will talk about that in a little bit. But this stuff here is actually pretty cool. I like the fact that you're going to add some features to it. Obviously, the people who have the Nintendo Switch right now, the review units, can't access the eShop and all that to download games. But it's exciting time. Obviously, you want to make sure that all this stuff works and is good. And it seems like Nintendo has kind of scaled things back just a bit in order to have a smoother launch, because the launch of the Wii U was a bit disastrous when it came to things. Now, there are some Best Buy locations that have this massive Nintendo Switch banner ad. Like, this is freaking amazing. I did not see a lot of this when it came to the Wii U marketing, but the fact that Nintendo Switch, they're doing so many things differently with the marketing and everything, it's a complete difference from the Wii U. And this big old huge banner with Best Buy is definitely one of them. I do think that Best Buy's increase when it comes to their gaming focus over the past 5 or 6 years definitely contributed to this. More people are going to Best Buy in order to buy games. I mean, they're still getting dwarfed by like Amazon and other places, but Best Buy is becoming more of a major player when it comes to video games, whereas before nobody went to Best Buy to get video games. But with the Best Buy Gamers Club and with what they're doing with promotion and marketing, you can clearly see that Nintendo, as far as what Best Buy is doing, caught their eye, because this banner ad is absolutely awesome. You're going to see that anytime you walk into a Best Buy. You're going to see that big old huge Nintendo Switch banner there, and I still need to check my own Best Buy to see if they've done that, but I'm pretty sure that they will. Nintendo is pretty good when it comes to, as far as where I live, when it comes to having their games in the displays. People are able to clearly see the Wii U back when that was actually there, the games, and a lot of the games were gone. Like when you went in there, it wasn't like they had a bunch of stacks of games. When it came to Nintendo products, people would buy 3DSs at my local Best Buy. So I'm pretty sure that my Best Buy will have this too, but I'll definitely maybe do like a live vlog or something like that on launch day, because I will be getting my Nintendo Switch from Best Buy, because Best Buy is freaking awesome when it comes to the Best Buy Gamers Club. So yeah, I will be getting mine there, and I'll definitely let you guys know. I'll have a banner there. I might do some interviews with people on the street. Who knows what we'll be doing, but there's going to be a lot of fun stuff surrounding the Nintendo Switch launch, and it's just hype. It's so hyped to finally get such a unique and different system that's really functional and is going to have some great content in the first year that we can clearly see. So really looking forward to the system launch. Really looking forward to picking mine up at Best Buy, and definitely let me know what you guys think about this big old huge banner ad at Best Buy in the comment section below. But we're kind of looping back to what we were talking about with the day one update and how Nintendo's doing things differently. It's funny because I saw an article where one person was like saying that Nintendo Switch, and this is from a reputable website, Nintendo Switch is copying all the mistakes the Wii U made. And like I said, it was just a bunch of text full of nothing, full of just generalizations, half truths, or just kind of like maybes. And I cannot see that at all. I'm looking at a lot of the stuff that Nintendo's doing, the Nintendo Switch, and looking at it compared to Wii U. Let's just compare some of the big things, because that was the main point, or at least what they were trying to make in the article, that Nintendo is copying some of the big problems. And one of the biggest problems, if not the biggest problem, when it came to launch day was the day one update. It was 5 gigabytes. The Wii U was down and loading extremely slow. Many people did not have adapters. Many people did not have Ethernet port adapters, so they were doing this via Wi-Fi. They probably had someone else downloading or on the internet, which would take up the bandwidth, and it just took forever for some people. Not only that, but some people do have gigabytes as far as like limitations that they can do. So some weren't even able to finish downloading it in that first day, which caused issues. Some people unplugged it just so they can get into playing Nintendo Land or anything, and that bricked your system when you did that, because Nintendo had a massive update on day one in order to add more Miiverse functionality, in order to add like all the different apps, Nintendo TV, Hulu, all this junk, which most people weren't even looking forward to doing in the first place. So I think that's the first problem when you say, oh, Nintendo's copying the same mistake. No, they're not, because this time they're not wasting their time with a bunch of Hulu and YouTube and all this stuff that people already have access to on a bunch of different devices, their TVs and everything. And they'll probably just add that functionality down the line. There's no need to get all of that out on day one and potentially have this big update that bricks your system if you want to turn it off and you want to just get the playing games. I think that's the most important thing, and one of the biggest things Nintendo is doing differently. The marketing is also another thing. The same websites absolutely tore Nintendo a new one for their marketing, where they marketed at, their TV commercials. Nintendo has been doing Super Bowl commercials. Nintendo has been doing banners like we saw with Best Buy. Nintendo has been doing billboards everywhere. Nintendo has been doing subway banners and locations. Nintendo has been doing really smart commercials showing off the functionality of it. You can't sit here and tell me, oh, they're copying the same mistakes, but they're not doing the same stuff that people really, these same websites pretty much said, oh, this is a big mistake. The marketing is so much more on point. They're not having that big, massive day one update. It's going to download in the background so you can get right into The Legend of Zelda, right into Bomberman, or any other games that you want to play. Get right into actually downloading eShop Fast RMX or Shovel Knight. I don't see how Nintendo is copying the same problems. And like I said, I read the article. It just felt like a bunch of nothing and kind of like, maybes. I mean, like maybe, but not really. Nothing really definitive at all. If anything, the only thing I would say is that maybe like the power of the system. Obviously, it's more powerful, but it's still not up to where some of the other systems are. But it's a hybrid device. It is a home console, and it's also a portable. So you can't have something that strong in that form factor. It's just not going to work for the most part, and it be reasonably priced. I don't really see where that is coming from at all. I also see like the game lineup. In the first year, you're seeing such a lineup of games that you did not see, and you're seeing Nintendo talk about those games. You're seeing the biggest thing for me, as far as Nintendo's biggest downfall with the Wii U, was RPGs. And you guys have heard me say that multiple times on this channel, but I'll say it again just to show the difference in contrast. Like with the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo was very clear that this system is going to be a place to where you can play RPGs. From Dragon Quest, all right, from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in the first year, Fire Emblem Warriors in the first year, there are going to be big RPGs on the system, in addition to smaller ones like Project Octopath as an exclusive. And those games are going to be coming out in 2017. So it's not like we're not going to have any type of RPGs to be playing. Also, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, while not a straight RPG, has far more RPG elements and what you would see from those type of games as far as open world RPGs go. So Nintendo clearly got the feedback. In my opinion, they clearly received the feedback and said, yeah, we do need more RPGs on the system and more Japanese RPGs, from Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, from Dragon Quest 11, Dragon Quest 10, all of those are coming. Project Octopath, like I said, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Fire Emblem Warriors, and there's probably going to be more announced. So to me, they definitely addressed that problem first and foremost in that first year, making sure that they get the RPGs out. So that was my biggest complaints with the Wii U when it came to the marketing, when it came to the actual update day one. It did take a while to do that. And when it came to the actual lineup of games and RPGs, plus just not knowing the game lineup. Back in 2012 when the Wii U launched, we didn't really see what was coming for that first year. Like Nintendo has laid out, hey, these are the type of games you're going to be getting. Another big problem that a lot of online websites said was that the online for the Nintendo Wii U was bad and there wasn't enough online games. Nintendo Switch definitely has games day one online with Super Bomberman R, which they helped make, in addition to Fast RMX, day one online games, new games, not just ports from old ones that are worse than the ones before on PS3 and 360, but newer games with actual good online custom design for the Nintendo Switch. And probably the biggest thing that Nintendo has addressed that they were criticized the most for was this thing right here, the Wii U gamepad. Many websites just basically tore this apart, said that it wasn't implemented correctly, said that many games didn't use it, said that they were tired of looking back and forth and up and down and didn't want to use gimmicky controls. Well, with the Nintendo Switch, you're not getting any of that. You can pretty much use a Pro controller and standard controls on every single game outside of, I think, 1-2 Switch and Just Dance, and the motion controls, from what I understand, work fine there, and it's built for that, so it's okay. Even games like ARMS for the core gamers, which has motion controls built into it, you can use standard buttons as well, and you can use the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, or you can just use the buttons on the Joy-Con in order to play the game. You don't have to use motion control. So Nintendo has pretty much eliminated any type of gimmicks when it comes to controls with their core games like Mario, Zelda, Splatoon, Xenoblade. You're going to be able to play all of those standards, which was a big problem on the Nintendo Wii U, but they've completely fixed with the Switch, and you don't have to worry as far as looking back and forth as far as the gimmick goes when it comes to certain games. Pretty much the standard thing with this system when it comes to the hook or the gimmick is that you can play your games anywhere that you want. You can take it on the go and play it, and you can play it right there at home. You can dock it or undock it. You can use the Joy-Cons as an actual functional controller, play it in tabletop mode, or hand it to a friend. I'm sorry, but that is not following in the Wii U's footsteps. That is a functional gimmick or hook to the system that's got a lot of people far more excited than what the Wii U was doing. Yes, there's still some issues. Don't get me wrong. Some people are complaining about the memory. Cartridges just don't install, so I don't see it as big of an issue, but I can understand there. I can understand some of the other issues that people have. I can also understand a little bit about the third-party support as well when it comes to major third parties, but I think that's already been described as far as what's going on with that and what happened last generation with the Wii U. Nintendo really pushed on third parties to make old ports, so we saw stuff like Ninja Gaiden, we saw stuff like Mass Effect, we saw stuff like Batman, and all of those games didn't sell at all because people just bought them on the other systems instead. People just bought them on there, and it didn't really do them any favors when it came to Nintendo selling their system, and Nintendo didn't have enough first party. So I think this time Nintendo is focusing on some of the smaller exclusive Nintendo games that you can get, like Fast RMX, Blaster Master Zero's coming, and there's more in addition to big first party games and games that are going to expand the market a little bit, like 1-2 Switch, but games that also harken back to the old school and people who love the Super Nintendo, like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and like Super Bomberman R. So I think Nintendo's focusing on that first, and the big first party games, Mario Kart, ARMS, Splatoon, and all that. Get the install base up of people who actually love Nintendo and who are going to buy the Switch for those games, and then layer in some of the RPGs like Tales and stuff like Dragon Ball Xenoverse that's coming, and Octopath and other games like that in between, in order to help the current flow of games. And then once developers actually see that base, third-party developers that is, then the big Western developers can maybe jump on if they feel like developing on the system once there's a solid install base of people. Unlike with the Wii U, they just put games out on there and they were mad because they didn't sell well because they were old ports, and people just said, well, I'm going to buy them on the PlayStation or Xbox system. So I think that's the reason why you're actually seeing this once again. So that's my theory on the matter, and I think that's what Nintendo even kind of commented on as well, saying, well, they just got the dev kits in the middle of last summer, and you're definitely going to see more at E3 and beyond. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Also, make sure you hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you ninjas for the next video. Peace.